Hey there, welcome back to Executive Summer School Day 3. Today we're talking about those notifications, the buzzes, the pings, the red dots. How many of you had so far today? 5, 10, 20, maybe even more. They can be relentless. I heard an analogy one time that they sound like digital mosquitoes, tiny but relentless. And when they're left unchecked, they can completely hijack our focus. So today, we're going to talk about putting them in check. We want to talk about not just reacting, but designing our days. So the research says that each one of us gets over 100 push notifications per day. I'd believe that. And when we think we're multitasking, we're really not. Certainly, sometimes we may be able to do it faster than others, but task switching can actually take us 15 to 20 minutes to reset when we're doing deep work. That's a high cost to pay. And in fact, what we allow in, it really shapes how our day feels and flows. So think of it as not disconnecting, but prioritizing what has your attention. So back on Monday, we did the tally sheets, the famous yellow pads, right? So look back. What actually interrupted you? Or do it again today. Heck, do it for an hour. Is it a ping? Is it a banner? Is it a badge? Is it a buzz? And then, is it really necessary? Or just a loop, just a habit, right, that is controlling us? So what do we do about it? First things first, default to silent. Get rid of the noise. I'm going to show you a screenshot here in just a minute of how to do it. But the first thing is just to decide that you are going to default to silent, that you are going to default to reclaiming your focus and only intentionally allow in the things that you'd like, right? So your calendar, certainly, you have to keep that. Your banking alerts, yeah, keep a few of those. All those other notifications, let's turn them off, right? So this is an iPhone example. I believe Android is very similar. So you're going to go to your settings, you're going to go to notifications, you're going to pick each one, and you're going to toggle this here to off. Now, I recommend you do that for as many as possible. If you can't, at least turn the sounds off, maybe turn the badges off, maybe turn them off your lock screen so that they're just in your notification center. Think about whether you really need these, or can you turn all of these off, right? You'll feel the relief almost immediately once you start to do this. And you can go through, do a few at a time, and turn them off. It'll feel great. Okay. Second is, remember, just like with our email, we want to let the right people through. So on an iPhone, it's typically called your favorites. On an Android, it's called priority mode or starred contacts. Tomorrow, we'll talk more about how to set expectations on other platforms as well. But it's worth thinking about, how do you make room to let the right people through? Maybe it's your family. Maybe it's your particular teammates. Maybe it's particular clients. Again, the goal isn't to completely disconnect. It's to decide in advance what should have our attention and set up for that. So you can even make it where when you go into Do Not Disturb, which we're going to talk about in a minute, and how you turn that on, you can still allow calls from your favorites, right? So you can still have the benefit of the defaulting to silent, but deciding in advance who you want to allow that from. So again, this lets you be available where it counts without letting all those mosquitoes in, right? This is the equivalent of your mosquito netting. And third, this is an advanced technique. I would say to do this after you've mastered your notifications, but in your settings, there's an area called focus where you can really customize things. You can think about what modes you want to be in, right? Do you want to have deep work for the first couple hours of the day? Do you want to have a time later in the afternoon where you allow more notifications through? An iPhone and Android does as well, and different apps. You can get as fancy as this as you would like, but really from your settings, you go to focus and you can customize these, or you can do plus and do a new one that will allow you to decide exactly which apps can get through, right? So when you're on Do Not Disturb, your phone doesn't light up, it doesn't buzz, it's beautiful. And again, you can have it set where those VIPs still get through. All right? So let's revisit our checklist for today. Go back to that tally sheet that you did on Monday. Look at it, get that motivation again. Pay attention to where the biggest mosquitoes are, right? Where are the most painful ones? And let's attack those. Turn off all of those non-essential notifications. Think about using a focus or do not disturb mode. Add your VIPs to your favorites or your starred contacts. And think about if you could commit to one focus block a day, right? Can you carve out 1 hour in your day where you can be on do not disturb to do focus work? It's a wonderful feeling. All right, so today is all about taming our notifications, and tomorrow is all about how we set expectations across all of our communications channels. We'll see you then.